Good morning, grade 9 students. This is Miss Moni. Today we're going to continue our 5th chapter, Human Genetics and Genetic Disorder. Please open your books to page 140, lesson 2, Genetic Disorders. We all have some questions about the nature of the genetic disorders and what are some of genetic disorders. In the objectives of this lesson, we are going to identify what is meant by genetic disorders. We are also going to describe how some genetic disorders are inherited, and we are going to explain about some of the genetic disorders found in or inherited in human beings. What is a genetic disorder? Genetic disorder is an abnormal condition that a person inherits through genes or chromosomes. Some genetic disorders are caused by the mutations in the DNA of the genes. Other disorders are caused by changes in the overall structure or number of chromosomes. In this lesson, we are going to learn about some of the genetic disorders. Cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disorder in which the body produces thick mucus in the lungs and the intestines. The thick mucus fills the lungs, making it hard for the affected person to breathe. Cystic fibrosis occurs when two mutated alleles are inherited from each parent. The mutation causes 3 bases to be removed from the DNA molecule, which is a deletion of a 3 base pairs. As you can see here in the chromosome, that the 3 base pairs that are highlighted in pink are deleted in a cystic fibrosis person. Another type of genetic disorder is called the sickle cell disease. This disease is caused by a mutation that affects hemoglobin. To keep in mind, hemoglobin is a protein found in red blood cells that carries oxygen. The red blood cells of people with the disease have a sickle or crescent shape. Sickle-shaped red blood cells cannot carry as much oxygen as normal cells and also clog blood vessels. As you can see in the picture, we have a healthy or normal red blood cell that looks like a disc shape and can move freely through blood vessel. However, the sickle cell disease or the sickle red blood cells have a crescent shape and they cannot move freely and block the blood flow in the blood vessel. The allele for the sickle cell trait, capital S, is codominant with the normal allele, capital A. A person with one normal allele and one sickle cell allele will produce both normal and abnormal hemoglobin. This person will have enough normal hemoglobin to carry oxygen to the cells, so this person usually does not have the symptoms. However, a person with two sickle cell alleles, two capital S, will have the disease. Another type of genetic disorders is called hemophilia. Hemophilia is a genetic disorder in which person's blood clots very slowly or not at all. These people do not produce enough of the protein responsible for normal blood clotting. The danger of internal bleeding from small bumps or bruises is very high. Hemophilia is caused by a recessive allele on the X chromosome. Because hemophilia is a sex-linked disorder, it occurs more frequently in males than in females. As you can remember, sex-linked genes that are found on the X chromosome are more dominant in males because the females will have one carrier and one normal allele on the X, and the male will carry the X that is affected. To better understand hemophilia, let's look together at this figure. When an injury occurs in a blood vessel, the blood vessel results in bleeding. Then the vessels constrict and the clotting factors are activated. In a normal person, along with other substances, clotting factors causes a strong platelet plug to form. A stable fibrin clots over the platelet plug as a final seal on the injury, and the bleeding stops. However, in a hemophilic case, the lack of clotting factors causes a weak platelet plug to form. Incomplete or delayed fibrin clot allows bleeding to continue. Another genetic disorder is called Down syndrome. In Down syndrome, a person's cells have one extra copy of chromosome 21. Instead of a pair of chromosomes, a person with Down syndrome has 3 copies. Down syndrome most often occurs when chromosomes fail to separate properly during the formation of sex cells, sperm, and an egg. People with Down syndrome have some degree of intellectual disability. Also, heart defects are common but can be treated. This figure shows the difference between a normal person and a person with Down syndrome. As you can see in the first line, on chromosome 21, we have 2 chromosomes. However, in the second line, on chromosome 21, we have 3 chromosomes or 3 copies of the chromosome. As a conclusion, some genetic disorders are caused by the mutation in the DNA of the genes. Other disorders are caused by changes in the overall structure or number of chromosomes. Some of the genetic disorders are cystic fibrosis, sickle cell disease, hemophilia, and Down syndrome. As an assignment for next time, please study pages 140 to 142 from the book. As a homework, please complete Figure 1, page 141 and Figure 2, page 142. Also do the assessment exercises, page 142, and check the slides below to highlight the required information on your books. Thank you.